Dear brothers and sisters, I'd like to welcome all of you here. I know many of you are here from different parts of the country and maybe from other countries too. When we look at the physical body, you got like 5 fingers in a hand, and these 5 fingers do wonders. Not only can we hold things, not only are we able to write, we can draw, we can create, we can have a glass, pick it up and drink some water. We can do all kinds of things with these fingers. And then we have the 5 toes. They really help us walk, they help us balance so we're not tumbling over, things. And so the number 5, to us on the spiritual path, has much significance in the spiritual arena. When we think about creation, there are 5 major regions of creation. The physical, the astral, the causal, the supercausal, and such kind of the region of all truth. And so the number 5 goes a long way to help us in the spiritual journey. We also, as we learn the techniques of meditation, stilling the body is easy. Stilling the mind is what is very difficult. And so to still the mind, we use 5 names of the power of God, which have been given as we go through our spiritual journey and the milestones that we reach. At each one of them, the power of God has been given different names, and those are the ones that we use. So the number 5 has great significance for us. It's also like when we look at life, we all want to achieve things, whether it be in the physical arena, whether it be in the mental or emotional arenas, whether it be in the spiritual arenas. And we find that many times when we are trying to reach on our own capabilities, we are unable to reach our goals. The first thing that we should all remember is that for us to reach the goals for which we've come into this world, few things are very, very important. The first thing that we should all recognize is the grace of God. Our real self, our soul, transmigrates from one existence to another. So it was transmigrating from one existence to another, to another, to another. And as it's transmigrating, it has no means of knowing what its goal is, because it has no means of even knowing what itself is. And so it's the grace of God that we have this human existence. And it is because of God's grace that this human existence has been bestowed on us, in which God has given us all the faculties that are required by us to know God. And so the key is to be able to recognize that great gift. So that's number 1. Secondly, there are like billions of people who have the human existence at the same time. Right now, I think there are a little over 8 billion. Okay. Many of them only think of themselves as the physical body or their minds, and their attention is only in the activities of the world outside. So, having received this human body, there's very few on whose a second grace from God comes in, who, while living in this physical body, really understand the true import of it. That this is a vehicle which God has given us. That in this existence, the reality is not in the body, but in the soul. That's the power of, that's what gives us power. And to be able to understand that, because when we go to school, when we go to college, when we study, in whatever is supposed to be education in this world, we never taught anything like that. We're only taught about languages and history and geography and maths and sciences and things of this outer world. So no one talks about anything beyond this physical world because that's how this world is set up. So it's a gift of God that we have an opportunity to be in an arena where the realities of our existence are talked about. So it's a gift of God that in our lives we're able to be in the presence of a spiritual master who can talk about things which are the true reality of our existence, who can guide us on an education which is not about the world outside, but which is about the world's inside, which is about the regions beyond the physical, which is to be able to understand them and experience them so that questions that our mind raises could be answered, and we are able to then be in a state where we can not only know who we are, not only understand what our relationship is with the Creator, but we have means by which we can experience who we are, and we have means by which we can be one with God. So that's the second grace that we have in our lives. And then, as we come into the spiritual arena, there is always talk about us being able to connect with something. And that something is God. And how do we connect with God? Through the two primal manifestations of God. So there's always talk about this Shabd or the Naam or the holy word or the light and sound of God or the celestial music, which is reverberating within each and every one of us. Generally in the world outside we never hear about it. We just hear about music which is created by human beings. But there is this music created by God, which is permanently being played 24 hours a day, 365 days a year, year after year after year after year. And so this holy word or the Naam or the Shabd or the celestial music or the light and sound of God, the two primal manifestations of God, we told are all within ourselves. So that's like the third gift that we have. It's just to know that there's a power which is within ourselves, that our soul is all powerful. The mind is just like camouflaging it, and the mind is distracting it, and the mind wants us to be involved in the world outside. But the reality is in the soul. And not only do we learn about it, then a fourth gift comes into our life when we get initiated into the mysteries of the beyond, which is, our single eye here is opened. We're able to soar into the regions beyond the physical, and we have an experience of connecting with that light and sound within ourselves. And as the attention of the spiritual masters is imparted to us, which is what happens at the time of a holy initiation, it is then that the connection with this divine light and sound of God is made. So that's the fourth thing that happens. And the fifth thing that happens for us to reach our goals is that once we are initiated, even though after initiation the attractions of the world are still very strong and they pull us in all kinds of direction, but we are asked to first make our life more pious, to inculcate the ethical virtues in our life, and then to be able to meditate on a regular basis so that daily we find time for our spiritual practices. After being initiated, after finding the connection with the divine power within, is the daily meditative practices which make our connection stronger and stronger and stronger, because as we meditate, then the revelations of the divine are happening in our lives on a daily basis. And our connection with the light and sound within is getting stronger and stronger and stronger. So it's these 5 aspects that will take us to our goal. Otherwise, even though we have a human existence, if the grace of God is not there, we might never be in an arena where we can learn about our true existence, where we can experience our true existence, where we can go on the spiritual journey, where we can experience the joys and bliss of being with the creative power. And this is the power of God, which God put into place. So no human intervention is needed for this celestial music to play. It's always there. It was there in the beginning of creation, is there today, it'll be there till the end of creation. And so the key is to be able to connect with it. And what happens is, as we find a connection with the divine power, we find a great transformation happens in our being. Sant Rajinder Singh Maharaj wrote about this transformation in a very beautiful way. He says, मैंने सीखा है ज़माने से मोहब्बत करना. मैंने सीखा है ज़माने से मोहब्बत करना. तेरा पैगाम मोहब्बत मेरे काम आया है. So Sant Rajinder Singh Maharaj, when he wrote this verse, he's talking about the message of love that is received through the grace of Hazur Baba Sawan Singh Ji Maharaj and through the grace of Param Sant Kripal Singh Ji Maharaj. That message of love, that message of experiencing God love, which he experienced through his meditative practices, through his spiritual journeys. And when he experienced that, then the connection with the divine power within made him realize that just as he could connect with God, so can everyone else. That we are all connected. And it's a part of God which is giving a life. That's what our soul is. And so once we have that experience, it is then that we are in love with all creation, because we realize that each and every one is our brother and sister. We're all connected with them. And it's that realization which takes us to our goals. When we have love for creation, then we'll find there'll be peace, there'll be happiness, there'll be joy. And as that happens in our life, then we find as our life is more enjoyable to live. This life is not given to us to be a pessimistic person. This life is given to us to live very optimistically and know that God's grace is always there. There'll be ups and downs in life. There'll be sometimes the difficulties coming in. But we know that those will pass away through. So those 4 words, this too shall pass, is something that we need to think about. And as we do connect with the powers within, then the realization that we are taking steps towards our goal sets in, because as we meditate regularly, as we have the spiritual upliftments come in our life, we find that on the inside we are more peaceful, we are more calmer, we are in harmony with the divine, we have an easy time dealing with everyone else on the outside too. Our atmosphere gets more peaceful and calm, and then we find that our life gets better and better all around us. So as we gather together, just remember the number 5. I don't know if you've noticed, like as you enter the center, we've got like 5 doors at the entrance. So that we all remember number 5. And as soon as we see 5 any place, we think about spirituality. And so these are outer symbols to make us think about our spiritual life. And this whole center is kind of created in that manner. The roof is kind of circular to show the unity, that everyone is connected to the. When you look outside, it looks like it's coming up like this by raising hands to the Creator and being grateful for all that the Creator has given us. So there are many, many symbols in this building. Those were designed in as this building was being designed. There's so many distractions in this world that it's very easy for us to be pulled away. And so we need to be reminded about God. We need to be reminded about ourselves. We need to be reminded of the purpose of our life periodically. If we don't have that happen again and again and again, then we get entangled in the attractions of the world outside. And so, what is important is that we be able to be focused on what is truly important. If this life goes away, which it will one of these days, the physical life, the physical body would disintegrate. Have we reached our goals? If we have, then more power to us. And if we haven't, then we're back in the wheel of transmigration. So this great opportunity that God gave us, the grace of God, that we were in the human body, we would have missed. We wouldn't have made use of it. So the key is to make use of this opportunity. The key is to truly know ourselves. The key is to be one with God. And that all happens in silence. It is the chattering of the world which distracts us. And it's in silence that the voice of the Lord can be heard by us and can be experienced by us. And we can connect to it so that we can go on the spiritual journey. So let us just meditate for a few minutes. There's nothing better than doing that, because that's the only way for us to connect with this divine power which is within ourselves. To us, we experience as a light or a sound. But just being with that light and with the divine sound within, it gives us so much calm and so much peace and so much greater understanding of ourselves and the purpose for which we all are in this world. Our goal is the same. We all have the same purpose, which is to first know ourselves and then to be one with God. And so that purpose is fulfilled as we first experience ourselves at the level of our soul, which we do as we sit in silence and meditate. Close your eyes very gently, just like you close them when you go to sleep. Your eyeballs should be straight, focus 8 or 10 inches in front of you. And as you close your eyes, those of you who have been initiated in the mysteries of the beyond, please do your Simran. And those of you who are new here, please repeat any name of God that you feel comfortable with. The repetition of God's name should be done mentally and not out loud. We pray to God Almighty to help each and every one of us connect with the divine power then. And it's my prayer to the 3 great spiritual masters of the past century, Hazur Baba Sawan Singh Ji Maharaj, Param Sant Kripal Singh Ji Maharaj, and Dayal Purush Darshan Singh Ji Maharaj, to help each and every one of us experience the divine light in its effulgence and to be able to take steps towards our goal. So we'll be sitting for a few minutes. I'll be getting out of the meditative state, and my best wishes are with each and every one of you. Please leave off.